Here is a crime that happened on a screen you have held in your own hands. New York City's Department of Consumer and Worker Protection found that the delivery apps used design tricks to suppress driver tips by more than $550 million. Not a rounding error. $550 million that should have gone to the person who biked your dinner across a freezing city. And the trick was simple. They moved the tip button. They hid it. They engineered the screen so that you, without ever meaning to, stole from your driver. Let me say the number alone because it deserves its own breath. $550 million. That is what the city says was siphoned off the people at the absolute bottom of this machine. The drivers. The ones with no salary, no benefits, no guarantee, who get paid in scraps and tips and were quietly robbed of the tips too. And it was not done with a gun. It was done with a layout. A button placed where your thumb would not find it. A prompt that appeared a half second too late. That is the modern heist. It does not look like theft. It looks like a user interface. And when the city tried to stop it, look who showed up swinging. DoorDash, Uber, and Instacart all sued to block New York's new gig worker laws. They went to federal court to fight for their right to keep doing this. Sit with that image. 3 companies worth a combined fortune, lawyering up to defend hiding a tip button from your driver. They did not argue they were innocent. They argued the rules were unfair to them. To them. The ones with the $550 million. Here is the good part, and we do not get many. They lost. 2 federal judges rejected them. The laws took effect on January 26, 2026. The apps put their full weight behind keeping the trick alive, and 2 judges, twice, told them no. It is a reminder worth holding on to. These companies are not unbeatable. They are just used to nobody pushing back. When somebody does with teeth, they can be stopped. But do not think this is the first time DoorDash got caught. This is a pattern, not a slip. DoorDash already paid $16.75 million to settle an investigation by New York Attorney General Letitia James. The reason? From 2017 to 2019, DoorDash used customer tips to subsidize the base pay it had already promised its drivers. Read that slowly. Your tip did not go on top of the driver's pay. It went toward the pay DoorDash already owed them. So your generosity did not help the driver. It helped DoorDash pay less. And before New York, there was Washington. DoorDash paid $2.5 million to the D.C. Attorney General for misrepresenting the tips went to drivers. Different city, same con. They told you the tip went to the driver. It did not. So when you see the pattern, 16 million here, 2.5 million there, 550 million in suppressed tips, you stop calling it a mistake. A mistake happens once. This is a business model. So who designed this and why? Somebody sat in a meeting and decided where your thumb would land. Somebody A/B tested the exact placement of a tip button to see which spot made you tip less. That is not an accident of code. That is a choice made by a person paid a salary to extract a little more from a driver who has none. The cruelty is not a bug in the app. The cruelty is the product. You were the unwitting hand that did the taking, but you were never the one who built the glove. Here is what actually fixes it, and it is not waiting for the next lawsuit 4 years from now. The driver got robbed because the driver owns nothing in this machine. Not the platform, not the customer relationship, not the rules of the screen. They just rent their body and their bike to it and take whatever the app decides to leave on the table. Ownership flips that. A platform where the people doing the work hold a stake and a say, where you cannot hide the tip button because the drivers are at the table when the button gets placed. So next time the app rushes you past the tip screen, slow down and remember what that screen is. It is a crime scene that already cost drivers $550 million, that DoorDash has already paid out millions for, twice, and that they went to federal court to protect. You are not the villain here. You were handed the weapon and told not to look down. Look down. Find the tip button they hid. And then ask why a company worth billions needed to hide it in the first place. Wake up is not the slogan. It is the part where you stop letting a layout decide who you rob. If this hit a nerve, that is the point. I keep ending up at the same answer, and this is the ownership stuff in practice, MXEL, at mxl.com, where the people doing the work hold a stake instead of getting their tip button hidden. Stay loud.